Hello students, and welcome to this video where we are going to be in section 1.6, and we're going to be looking at the topic of relative differences. So I'd like to look on your textbook, page 69, and we're going to actually follow along with the class portion for this particular lesson. And I know I normally don't do that necessarily for our PowerPoint discussions, but I think it will actually help us in this case. So, with that being said, if you go to page 69, it says, when asked to compare the sizes of two numbers, most people think of subtraction, but the example above shows that this isn't necessarily the best choice. So let's actually go up and look at that example. In a nutshell, Einstein's theory of relativity says that even the passage of time is not an absolute, but rather is relative to your frame of reference. In this lesson, we'll study appropriate ways to compare numbers, focusing on the importance of relativity. Consider the two scenarios. I borrow $20 from you, and when it's time to pay up, I give you $10 instead. Versus the second scenario. You win $5 million in a lottery, but they only pay you $4,999,990 million. In which scenario was the shortage significant? You're out $10 in each, but clearly that's a much bigger deal when the amount owed is only $20 because now you're looking at half of your payment was not received. So if that makes sense to you, then you have an instinctive understanding of the concept of relative difference. So going back to the bottom part under the class section, the difference between two values is found by simply subtracting the old value from the new value. In both scenarios above, the difference in what was owed and what was paid is $10, which leads us to conclude the significance of that $10 is the same in each case. But doesn't it seem clear that the $10 shortfall is more significant when the total amount owed is only $20? That's where relative difference comes in. The relative difference between two values measures the difference as a fraction of the original value. So you're looking at the difference over the original. And so you know that your difference is equal to the new value minus the old value. And so you create your fraction value. So coming back to our slides, we literally look at the difference between things every day. How much did I weigh last year compared to today? What was the price of this item last week compared to the price today? So thus, mathematically, to find the difference of an item, we do the new value minus the old value. But when we want to think about this relative difference, what is truly the difference relative to what you're considering, you're going to utilize this new formula of difference over original value. Your difference is the same thing as saying the new value minus your original value over your original value. Okay, so thinking about this scenario on page 69 in your text, you had the situation number one. I borrow $420 from you, and when it's time to pay up, I give you $10. And then situation number two, you won the lottery and received $5 million, but you only get paid $4,999,990. Can't even say it because I've never seen that kind of money, right? Think about which one would hurt more. And obviously, I think it's pretty easy to look at that and say, okay, if we're dealing with money in the millions, right, that's not going to affect us too terribly. But let's actually, do the relative difference. So if I do my new value minus the original value over my original value, I end up getting negative 10 over 20, which reduces to negative 1 over 2, which is actually equal to negative 50%. If I do my $1 million example, so the $4,999,990 minus the $5 million all over the original, I end up with the fraction of negative 1 over $500,000, which is only a relative difference of negative 0.0002. And thus, it's not impacting me as much as situation number one would be. So when you think about relative difference, the main idea here is that you're not just looking at values for what they appear to be. So not looking at the face value, but more so looking at the context, considering, okay, well, what was the specific situation, right? How much did I start with, and how did that impact, what I started with versus what I ended up with. So I feel stupid saying this, but you're literally looking relative to the situation, which is why it's called relative difference, right? So I'll have some extra resources for you to explore this a little further and make sure you feel comfortable with this. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, or you need me to clear something up, if something wasn't clear in this video, I'm happy to do so. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me or email me, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.